Welcome everybody again to another awesome episode of Smart TV. We're here to help you in improving your online marketing with leading edge strategies, opportunities, ideas to help you with your business. So today we wanted to talk more about conversions on websites. This is a subject that is very, very important, and very, very few businesses actually do much about this. So this is good to have. When we talk about building a website, there's two types of websites that you can build for your business. Okay, one is an informational website, and I think a lot of people build these without realizing it. They build a site, they put stuff about their business, who they are, their team, what is their products and services that they have for their business, their pricing, a contact us page. They just build a site that is designed to sit there and show information about the company, so they can drive traffic to it. They can help people to learn about their business and see more, about what they offer and so forth. So the challenge is that's an informational site. Sometimes you'll talk to web developers, and depending on how much experience they have, it's always good to ask them, do you guys have marketing experience? Do you build websites for marketing purposes, and not just static sites, but actually sites that can help us with making sales? And ask that. It's so important to ask that, because there's challenges that'll come up on your site if not, and you're going to run into problems later. So if you have questions as we talk about how to get more conversions on your website, what are tips and tricks, ways you can design things on your site to help you, let us know. And we'll do our best to help you in answering those questions.
Use the hashtag SMRTTV to talk with us.
Use the SMRTTV hashtag to help in asking us questions there. Ask them directly on Periscope or Facebook. We're on YouTube as well, broadcasting live. So feel free to ask us those questions about how to get better conversions or things about your site that we might be able to help you answer. So let's talk a bit more about this. So the other type of site that there are marketing sites. These are websites that they're designed to help you actually get conversions. They're designed to help you grow your business and have more success. And that's very, very important that you realize there's a huge difference between them.
That's where you have an add to cart button, or you're gathering leads, email addresses, stuff like that.
Yeah, and it's not just about having static pages of your website. Again, Field of Dreams doesn't work. It's not if you build it, they will come kind of thing. So you have to realize that in order to get people to buy from you on your website, you need to make sure it's designed in a specific way to help move them in that direction. If it's not moving them in that direction to buy, then it's not really a marketing website. There is a big difference. It's just an informational site. So having those buttons, like what John Lee was talking about, is super important. I mean, if those call to buttons or action buttons are huge, have those product pages so people can learn about the product and buy it. And one thing I'll tell you, this is hugely important, test them. Go buy the product from yourself. I cannot tell you how many times we have worked with a business and they're like, oh, we're not getting conversions on our site. Well, let's go try and make sure the whole process works. And it doesn't work. There's a problem in the shopping cart. One of the links is broken, or the link just routes you back to the other page. It doesn't actually let you buy. There's all kinds of challenges that'll happen. So make sure you buy your own product online to test the whole process, and go back and retest it every so often just to make sure it still works. Because if something breaks, you don't even know it, and now nobody buys from you. So you want to be careful with that. The other thing that's important to do on a marketing page is realize that sales online is a journey. It is a journey. It is a process that people go through. Okay, you're going to get, just like in the sales world, we talk about having a sales funnel. You've got people who don't know you're there, and then they become interested, and then they identify a need, and so forth. There's a way to funnel people down to get them to the sell. That same concept still works online also. You need to be realizing that when you broadcast everything online, you're talking to people who range from never knowing who you are before to people who have done business with you in the past. So you've got to make sure that you are targeting the pages of your site, the content on your site, to help them get in there. Okay, you can have informational spots on your site to help just give information, static things about your business, that's okay. But you also want to make sure that you have opportunities to be seen as far as the marketing to drive traffic. So pages that help connect with people, help answer their questions, and then funnel them towards a solution. Have those buttons in there so that it drives people there. If you just have a main button, like you have a lot of websites will build a navigation bar, and that navigation bar is where they put the buy now button or something like that, and then that they just think, oh, somebody's going to come to my page, they're going to read this, and then go back up to the top and hit the buy now button. Rarely happens that way. Rarely happens.
Your page should reflect the process in a way.
Yes, exactly. You want to make sure that what's going on your website is helping that process to move forward. So if it's a page, maybe you start with some education about a problem, okay? Like for instance, if you're doing this for a roofing company, let's say, so you have a whole page of your website that is designed to talk about, maybe you want to attract more business in getting people that have roofs but need repairs to their roof. So you have a whole page that just talks about ice dams and dealing with ice dams or problems, or what are ways to how to identify issues with your own roof. Okay, whether you've got how to find out if you have multiple layers of roof already on there, how to find out where your leaks are coming from, or if there is leaks and things and so forth. So you create like a blog post or a page of your website that talks about this information.
This would be part of the awareness process.
Exactly.
Because they're going to type into Google, I have this weird thing going on with my roof in my local area, I need help. So that's a great part of the awareness process, is to have that information available.
Yep, exactly. So that's what they're going to find. That's the initial part of that process. Then as they read through there, maybe what you want to do is have in a couple of spots down there, hey, for a free quote to see what it would cost to get your roof repaired, give us a call. And that's the call button, and it sends them to a page, or it pulls a pop-up in that then just confirms, hey, would love to talk to you more. It's a free, no obligation estimate that we can give you. One of our guys will contact you in 24 hours, So it just reinforces that that's good, that they want to do that. And then they fill that form out, and it sends you an email to let you know you've got a new lead, call them. So that would be a more effective sales process, rather than looking at, oh, I'm just going to put a site up and hope they come talk to me. So you want to realize that that's important to have that flow. What is that process? What is this, how can we just help people naturally go in this direction to buy from us? Huge theme. One of the, I guess, software companies really work on this a ton more than non-software companies, because we focus so much on this, but it is important to do these days for every business that's out there. Even if really retail locations should be doing this. If you sell online, if you have an online offering, if you have coupons or things, use this as a process to get those people to deal with those online offerings that you have, and then that will help bring them into your store. So whether that's coupons, if you're driving sales online because you have an online store, then it'll obviously be important for you to do. But even if you're doing offline only sales, get them to a coupon or a gift certificate or something that will then encourage them to bring it into the store to buy from you. Mm-hmm. You can still do that. Very important.
Another great tip with the design and branding aspect of it is on your certificate, have your brand on there in the corner, or in the background somehow, even just your slogan on it, so that they'll know, like, oh, this is the real deal. Mm-hmm. This isn't some rip-off that I just printed online and I'm going to bring to the store. It's kind of got that seal of approval, the certificate of authenticity in a way.
Yeah.
Your brand is on there.
Make it look good. Make it look interesting. Okay, that's very important, because it has to feel official. It has to feel good the whole process through. Mm-hmm. When you're doing those contact forms, some businesses will be like, oh, we're just going to build a contact us page and drive people there. But then you get to the contact us page, and there's nothing to tell you why should you fill this form out.
It's just like name, box description. What do you want to say to us?
Exactly. It's generic. So you want that page.
That's like screaming for bots too.
Yes,
That's
it is.
Just screaming to have bots.
It's screaming to get all kinds of problems sent to you in your email. So what you want to do is have that page designed in a way that encourages them and reinforces why they're filling it out. because they clicked a button somewhere on your website to go to that page. And so they're already wanting to do something like order a product or ask you a question or whatever it is that button they clicked on. That's the motivation to the next page. So that page with a form needs to be branded in a way that clearly shows you, and it clearly shows what the purpose of filling that form is, and then reinforce that behavior of why it's good for them to fill this out.
Mm-hmm.
It could be you have some testimonials in there as well. So maybe they're signing up for a free estimate. So you want to give testimonials of, hey, we had them come out and give us an estimate and we were shocked at how affordable their price was. Or things like that that'll encourage them to do that. You know, maybe you have a few bullet points, it's a no obligation estimate or whatever. All those things will help you in increasing the chances of getting them to fill that form out and make more sales for you.
Yeah, I think a big thing is like people love to assume that we as the consumer are going to know what to do with your product or your service, when in fact it's quite the opposite. Like you need to be very specific and direct with what you want your customer to do. You should not assume that they're going to figure it out for themselves.
Yeah, and especially since who is it you're targeting?
Mm-hmm.
You know, who's your customer? Because, I mean, if your customer is young kids, 25 and under, they are curious enough, they might be able to figure it out. If they really want your product, they'll find a way to buy it or contact you online to do that. But if you're getting into the older generations, especially if you want to talk to people who are 45 and older, they haven't grown up necessarily with the mobile phones and smartphones and instant buy and stuff. So they might not understand that whole process. They might look at the page and go, okay, now what do? I'm waiting for you to tell me what's my next step. And so if you're not helping them in that, you're totally losing your sales online. So have those buttons, make them appear big, have test some different colors on there as well. We're in Ogden, Utah. Thanks for the question. If you guys have any other questions as far as how to help improve those conversions on your website with design and branding, let us know. We'd love to answer those questions and help you with those today. So make sure those buttons are apparent. Yes, we are. Make sure those buttons are big, they're bold, they're right where they need to be, so that you can make sure that things are working on those sites.
Yeah, they call it like if you were reading a newspaper, you should have things above the fold, is what it's called. Mm-hmm. So if you have a product, don't have them scroll down 20 miles to find your buy now button. It should be right under the product.
Yep.
Sign up now, easy to find, and eliminate as many steps as you can. Don't be like, click to the next page. You don't want a slideshow of 20 slides before you ask them to buy.
Yeah.
Eliminate as many steps as you can so that they can buy right away.
Exactly. And even if you have that menu bar sometimes at the top of the website, make the buy now button different from everything else so that it's easier to see. You know, if you want a good example of these kinds of processes, look at companies like Shutterfly really is a good one.
Yeah.
And especially them, because there's multiple steps that you have to go through to make a sell. So for Shutterfly to make a sell, they have to get you to sign up for an account, then they have to get you to download pictures, then they have to get you to organize those into a book, and then buy. So there's several things that you have to go through to do it, and they need to motivate you to do every one of those steps. So they have a process for each step along the way. They run ads to get you to Shutterfly to set up an account. They have a landing page that you go to that talks about the benefits of having a free account for them and how easy it is. Then once you sign up, the next screen that you see is a big screen that says, download your pictures. Download those pictures, get things in there. No, we don't speak Russian, sorry. And they're gonna send you an email. They're gonna get that information to you to encourage you to, now you're signed up, let's get those pictures in so that you can start building books. And then they get you to download those pictures. And once you start downloading pictures, then they're gonna start recommending different books to you of different things, different times of the season, what books are popular or not. They're gonna start encouraging you to now make a book. And as you make a book, that buy button is gonna be big. It's gonna be very apparent. Mm-hmm. You know, I mean, you've made several books. I know my wife has made several. It's easy to do.
It's so easy. It seems like a daunting sales process, but really the way I set it up, it's so easy. And it makes you as the customer feel like, wow, this is super easy.
Yeah.
For me to just buy a mug with my brother's face on it.
And the buy now button doesn't show up until you've made the book.
Mm-hmm.
It's not there when you're downloading pictures. It's not there when you're signing up. It's
You
only
have to
after you've
set
made
up
that book.
that creative
So
process.
they're walking you through those steps and then getting you to the buy now button. So now that's, if you have multiple steps, then that's a good way to do it. If you need people to buy right now, then you're not necessarily looking at putting a website together to do that. You need to just run ads to get your phone to ring, basically.
Another great point with a bigger sales process or a more long-term sales process like that would be creating a pixel or Google Analytics
Mhm.
so that you can kind of retarget those people back to your site. If it's taking a
Yep.
little bit longer, retarget those people, ask them to come back, send them an email and say, hey, we noticed you were interested in these shoes. Do you want to come visit our site
Exactly.
again and buy
Retargeting
those?"
is huge.
Send those emails, send those ads out,
Yep.
and get some pixels on your site so you can see the process of where people are clicking and why.
That makes a
really
huge
cool.
difference.
Yeah,
That
and
really
it gives you
does.
so much insight on the way your site looks,
Yep.
the process people are going through. Gives you so much cool insight.
It definitely does. You know, one thing that I think, and this isn't necessarily a specific design topic or idea, but I think this is something that is huge, is the testing,
Yeah.
user
totally.
testing.
Totally.
So we had a company hire us to help them do some online marketing. They were a secondhand clothing store. So they took extra clothes that people didn't want, and then they would clean them up and fix them and then sell them. So what happened is they built this website where you could go buy the clothes off their website. And they'd set up this process, but they were struggling to get that to happen. And so I says, well, what we need to do is run a user test. This is important to gather feedback from these people to help us in making this process work better. So I encouraged him to bring a whole bunch of people from the local community that do buy his products, that are the demographic that he's going after, and bring some food in, feed them some lunch, sit them down at a computer, have a bunch of laptops set up or something, sit them down there and say, now, go try to buy something off our website, go look around and see. And then ask them questions. What are you doing? What's happening? What is it you'd like to buy? What's going on? What are you looking for that you're not finding? Or just watch their behaviors and ask them questions to understand what are they thinking? What are they looking for? What do they think it should be doing? And you'll learn tons of stuff. Oftentimes when you do these, people will start looking around the screen. They're not going anywhere, but their mouse is moving all over, like they're looking for something. You say, oh, what is it you're looking for? I'm looking for a way to sign up. Oh, well, it's up here in the corner. Oh, I didn't even see it up there. Okay, that's something to know. Our design is too invisible. We need to make that stand out more. And then you can even ask them, where do you think it should be? Oh, why don't we just make a button right here in the middle of the screen or down here in this corner? Since I'm reading this is, I'm right here. Oh, okay, we can put another button down there. So that testing will give you more feedback and extremely valuable insight into how do we make this process work better for the customer so that they will purchase from us. And hugely important. It's I can't emphasize enough the value of the user testing. It makes a big difference. So those are some tips as well you can use to help you in designing a better website. But just realize if you're building a website, and when you're talking to a web designer to help you build your website, ask them about building marketing. Do you guys build sites to help create conversions and do marketing? Okay, and that's important. And you can even ask them, do you guys help with user testing or other things so that we build a really good site? Oftentimes, and I've seen this over and over, oftentimes when you work with a web designer, they're going to build a website. They're gonna sit down with you and they're gonna talk with you about, here's the pages you want, and here's how big, and here's pictures we want to put on here, and text we're going to put on here, and things, and then they're going to go build it and hand it to you, and then they're done.
Good luck.
Yeah, exactly. They're building a static site for you. So that's not necessarily going to be a good converting site for you. So even if you have SEO and PPC and other things, if the process on your website doesn't work really well, you're going to struggle with getting conversions. So we want to make sure that that works, that it does go in the direction that you need it to. And look at, do we have too many steps in that process? Have we put too many pages in between them getting to the site and them buying? Can we eliminate some of those? Can we cut that down so we don't have to do that many steps? So like what John Lee said, the less steps, the better. Every step is an opportunity to lose people. And so the less steps you have, the faster people get to the conversion at the end. So make sure that you're designing those things with the end user in mind, and not so much what you think, but what they think is important. That user testing will help tremendously. So if you're designing your own sites, realize that. Am I putting up just a static site, or do I need conversions? If you need conversions, then look at building more of a marketing site. If you just need a static site, then build a static site. They're okay, but they're not converting. So you just got to realize there's a big difference in how those sites are set up.
I'd ask yourself, like, how are we going to receive their payment information? Is this something that we're going to have to call them and set up an appointment? Is this something we're going to get upfront for? Is this something they can just purchase with their credit card and get a confirmation email? Ask yourself these questions of, am I collecting an email from them? Am I collecting a phone number from them? How are we going to manage this on the back end so that we can actually fulfill these orders? We don't just want, like, I hope the orders come in. Actually ask yourself, how are we going to actually process these orders? What information do I need to send this to them? Is it a product? Make sure you have their address and that they know when you're going to ship it to them. How are you managing that on the back end? Is there a catalog maybe you can put in to gather all that data and keep it in a log so that you can market again to repeat customers? Hey, thanks for that order you had 6 months ago. Did you want to buy some more stuff from us?
Yeah, sales online is more of a process than an event. So you need to make sure that you've got the website designed to help with that process. Consider ads, consider your social media sites to do that. If you don't have, so one challenge is that does come up sometimes is you've ended up with a static site and you need conversions, you need sales, but now it's going to cost you a ton of money to go get those conversions to get your site rebuilt. So sometimes you can get around that by saying, okay, so what we're going to do is use this as an informational site, and then we're going to start building landing pages to do that. So you can use like Unbounce or Lead Pages or other sites like that to help you in just making those quick pages to make the sale that you need to make. Maybe you're gathering people's email addresses. Make a page and have that. It's off your site. Still have your website for information, but then have these other pages designed for specific things to gather information or make those sales. Look at things like Shopify is a place that they can do an online shopping cart, kind of make a bit of an ad hoc website for you to help make those conversions happen. So maybe what you do is you just add a bunch of buy now buttons on your website and it drives them to your Shopify account. Or if you have an Etsy account, you do a lot of crafting and things, and that's an appropriate place to be, drive them to your Etsy account. So there are ways of not having to spend a ton of money to rebuild the site so that you can still make conversions. It's ideally best to just redo the site, but we understand there's budgetary constraints in that. So look at Shopify, look at using like an Etsy store if that's going to be appropriate for your target market, or moving them to a quick form, a landing page to fill out a form where you can then contact them specifically about what they want to order. So there's all kinds of ways of setting these things up to make it work for you.
Definitely taking advantage of social media too. Like, we have buyable pins now on Pinterest. We have the Facebook store. You have the Facebook marketplace, and you have Facebook business pages that actually allow you to put in your products and services that you can buy straight from Facebook. So take advantage of all the social media aspects that can help you make those sales too, and kind of reinforce the sale process.
All of those will help in that process somewhere, and whether it's getting them in the front end, whether it's helping to drive them specifically to the sell, or it's getting that retargeting, it's catching those people that are dropping off in the process and bringing them back in. So between your website, between your social media sites, and your email, those are things that'll help bring those people back in. So use all of those tools to help you in growing your online marketing. Is very, very important. So that's it for today. We appreciate everybody coming and joining with us, and thanks for some of the questions you guys had. We appreciate that. We will be putting this up onto YouTube by the end of the week, so you can come subscribe on our YouTube channel and make sure that you follow us there to get all the latest updates. We do have all the past episodes up there as well that you can go watch to gather more information from.
Look us up on SMRT.
SMRT, we're everywhere on social media, so you can always follow us. If you have questions for online marketing or tips and advice or things that you need help with, let us know. We'd love to help you out with those and answer those questions. So we'd love to do that. Next Monday, we will be back for another episode of Smart TV. So next week, we're going to talk about mobile apps for your business. What are, and that's kind of a two-part thing, really. Part about the value of having a mobile app for your business, but more importantly, what are different types of apps that you can be using to help your business grow, and with marketing, with other internal things as well that you can be doing to make your business more efficient by using the mobile app space. So we look forward to having you back for that. Save up some of your questions and let us know. We would love to answer those questions for you. So we will talk to you guys next week on another episode of Smart TV. See you then.